Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Thursday, November 6th. And we got a market which is holding on to the gains. Concern yesterday was that there was going to be a profit taking going into the close there, but it kind of happened, but not as bad as I thought. Sometimes you get these crazy retracement. We were up here at the highs. We could not hold that 68.50 level, so they ran it below that. We did not quite make it below the 20 level. I adjusted the edges since, but you can see that we have they held. They were right down here at the 20s and then held there, and then we had a couple of a little bit in the overnight down here to the 6800s, but so far we are back up again above that 68.20. So at this point, I'm thinking we have in a pretty good shot at maybe even being back in a risk on mode. We'll see. In days like this, you also have to be a little bit cautious because you just never know when the actual selling is over. So we had a pretty good run down here yesterday, going into yesterday's overnight. That's when they ran it really low. So we may get a holding day. This may not be over by any means in terms of running it slower. This government shutdown is now starting to really weigh on the economy. It's longest in history, and it's just it's kind of out of control. And it doesn't look like they wanted to open it either. So it's it's one of these Hail Mary plays that if I can't get what I want, I'm going to tear everything down. It's what it feels like. So there you have it. But at this point, I would start off range bound. We move out of the middle to the downside. Yeah, pretty sure we may have cut off the selling here at the 67.44. We'll know. We'll know tomorrow. Given the retracement we had from the overnight yesterday, I'm thinking that we may have cut off the selling at 67.44, 45 here, and we're back up in the range. So unless we get some new leg lower, I think we may be in a good spot to be in stage two, maybe even in stage three right away. So I'm going to be a little bit optimistic about this and say we start off range bound and looking to fade the edges, and going to watch these lower edges, the 67.85s on the downside and the 68.55 to 60s here on the upside. So also that's going to be my range, a little bit more than yesterday's day session range, but it's going to be a pretty good it's a pretty good area to trade at least to get started, and then we'll see if they going to be risk on, they'll take it higher. If it's going to be risk off, we may see them take out the low and head lower. Looking at the news we have, the job cut report, 153,000. So that's the much higher, 3 times last time's number. Probably government shutdown related at this point. Jobless claims, productivity, and stuff coming out. I'm not sure we get jobless claims. We'll see that number comes out. A bunch of Fed speakers. Tomorrow we supposedly should have got that employment situation, but that's not going to happen. So we are very much twisting in the wind. This will be the second employment situation we're missing. So right now, looking at the ES, looking to sell strength against that 68.35s, 45s up to the 55s for rotations down. Looking to buy weakness against the 68.05s, 67.85s to 67.80 to 85s here for rotations up. I'm going to put in one more level in here while I'm seeing this. It's this guy right there. You see the ledge right there, and the mode of the overnight going into yesterday. Not the big edge. It's just more of an attractor area. So popping up a little area there. If they run down, there could potentially be a bounce against that. That's a 67.95. So we're adding that back in there, adding that in there. So looking to buy against support, 68.25s, 68.05s, 67.95s, 67.85s. Below the 67.85s, leaning in on the short side. Above that, 68.55s, leaning in on the long side. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. But we are up against the highs here, right, going into the day session. So, all right, let's look a little bit of overnight strength at least. We'll see how this shapes up going into the going into the day session. All right, so that's the ES to get started, range bound trading to get started. Let's see if they're going to be in a risk off or risk on kind of a mood here. This government shutdown thing, remember, we're still in earnings season, even if a lot of the big tech has reported. We do have but the government shutdown is now starting to become an issue, as well as the what was I thinking about? Oh, okay, so government shutdown, earnings season is what's going on right now, and then the I think the Chinese issue is kind of tabled for now, and that they have an agreement of some sort. At least it's not going to be headline news on that side. A lot of things, a lot of tailwinds. I think the government shutdown is now starting to become an issue. And as I said earlier, if I can't get what I want, I'm going to burn everything down. Mentality is just pathetic, but it's what it is. That's the look like where they are at. Bond market, the range bound, they repriced to the downside, has since retraced, and I would just stay on the short side on this still. Looking to sell strength against the 1624, 28.29 up to the 117, 117.02 here. Rotations back down again. So that's just looking to sell strength up to that three little edge right there. On the way down, looking to buy again 1616 and the 1612 with a bit of caution. We are in the move out in the middle to the downside on the bonds. Yes, well, not quite a move out of the middle, but it feels pretty much like a good move down here. You can see on the capital flow. It's not the move out of the middle because we haven't taken out that low yet, but it's a pretty good move to the downside, and it ran right into that edge. The chances are we may get another attempt to take this lower, but look at this edge right here at the 16s. That is being defended. So below that one, things can open up to the downside, and we may see them run down to 114 pretty quick and maybe lower. So we'll see how the bond market feels about this whole thing. But as the government shutdown starts wearing on, I think that we may see bond market start getting upset. Let's see. But I think that's maybe the whole plan. Just run the whole thing into the ground and see if you can create chaos and economic disaster. You have all these good policies going, but if you can't fund government, you can tear a lot of things down just by doing that. So that's the modern Democratic Party, tear everything down. Anyway, sideways action on the Nasdaq. We are I think almost in a risk-on mode. They felt pretty strong yesterday, at least going into the close. They had a pretty good retracement as well, but so far they held on to support and did not quite retrace as much far enough for me to want to shift my bias. So it started off range bound in the overnight and doing the same thing right now. So Nasdaq, let me see where are you at? Nasdaq capital flow. There you are. We are right in this gap right now. So a pretty good move to the downside. They had reverse retested this area. It held the first time. It doesn't mean we're not going to get a second retest of it, and that's usually what happens. I mean, it's not usually you get this in the rundown and V-bottom and straight up, but it can happen as well. So, but I will be looking at range bound trading, watching to see what they're going to do. If they start trading above that 870 level, looking for a move to the upside. If they start taking out this ledge here at the 520s, looking for a retest of the low at that point. So that's so starting off range bound. Let's see if they can take out one of these edges right now. So the lower edge is at the 515s. So it's going to be a little bit lower than here, shown on this chart, and the upper level is going to be the one we have on the chart there. So let me adjust this as a little bit like so. There you go. So here's your 515 area. So they take out this little high volume area right there. The 530, 490, and 530 is the two edges I have there. If both of them come out, we are heading lower. And then you can look for a test of the 25-300s, maybe even lower. If they take out this upper area, the 880s, 890s, we have a shot at getting back in action and start taking this higher. So looking to sell strength early on at 780s, 850s, 880s for rotations back down. Looking to buy weakness, 720s, 630s, 580s, 530s, down to the 490s for rotations back up. Now we are technically still in the move out of the middle to the downside, given the move to the yesterday's overnight. But the fact that they retraced so hard yesterday, just to get me back on thinking stage 2 and stage 3 already. You will have a lot weaker close if you had if they were a pretty good risk off kind of mentality and they're going to take this lower. But so far the overnight has been holding on pretty good. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. We can still see another leg lower. Sometimes in the middle of it, move out of the middle, you get a little pause like that. But right now, so starting off range bound, watching that upper edge at 880 to 90s, and that lower edge, these two lower edges at the 520 or 530s and the 490s here for rotations back up again. All right, so let's see how this goes. It feels very much like risk on, but you never know until the day session really kicks in and you see what these algos are going to be up to. All right. Finally, oil and gold. And gold finally is taking a breather. Having after all this crazy shit going on gold, they ran from 2,000 almost to 4,000 pretty quick. And right now they're up here against the against in this upper range. So far, yes, trending up to the 4,030s, 40s, and 50s. I would look for short setups against that. With pretty much range bound. Given the overnight, I would probably start a little bit looking for some early strength so you can retest these upper levels. But still looking for short against that 4,028s, the 40s up to the 48 to 50s for rotations down. And looking to buy weakness initially at the 4,013s, 6s, 4,000s, 39.85s, 39.75s for rotations back up. I would say right now, if they start taking out that 47, probably not necessarily the 4,000 to be too aggressive, but I would give it down to the 74, 73, 74 here. So the session low comes out, I would lean in on the short side at that point. But right now, we're range bound on gold. We are going just trading back and forth in the range here. So they're coming to balance. And that's probably pretty good because the gold has been crazy for a while. So, and the capital flow on gold, just to show you that it's coming to balance. It's showing pretty good pictures. So they start taking out these areas, the 40, 44, the 50s, these upper areas. That's the upper area we have on the chart. Lower area on the chart is going to be the 39.75 to 60. It's going to be this area. It could have to be down to 60s here, but you can see that the volume starts tapering off pretty good at the 60s, 70s here. So below that one, look for a potential move to the downside. So that's gold, range bound trading on that guy. And oil, I would just stay range bound on oil as well. Not much happening on oil to be excited about. They're pretty much holding in the range. Still, that ledge is still holding at the 59.50s. So as long as that holds, I think we are in a good spot to just stay range bound as we are. Chances are the next leg low is going to be lower. We just have to see what's going to be triggering that leg lower. But capital flow on the oil is just range bound, same as gold right now. Gold will probably be still leaning towards the long side, given that the kind of moves we had on gold. But on the shorter term, the half-hour chart and the exchange member chart are pretty much range bound. All right, so that's oil and gold. So range bound oil, range bound gold. We get started back to the ES, and we are still risk on. Still looks like we are trying to take this higher. But as I said, we're starting off range bound. If anything, looking for early strength and see if we can retest these upper levels. But looking for short against the levels up to that 68.55 level. Rotations back down again. All right, guys, we'll leave it there for now. So good trading. And I will see you guys back at, oops, that's not right. Good trading. And I'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update later.